Have you been feeling unusually tired, disconnected from your spiritual path, as if something invisible is draining your energy? You're not broken, you're being targeted. And here's the truth, most never speak out loud. Spiritual attacks are real, and they don't happen to just anyone. They come for the chosen ones, the ones destined to awaken, rise, and lead. In this video, you'll discover the hidden signs, the silent battles, and how to reclaim your power before it's too late. There are moments when everything seems heavy, but nothing visible explains the weight. A fog slowly settles over the heart, prayer feels distant, and meditation becomes a chore. This is how spiritual attacks often begin, not with chaos, but with silence. A quiet invasion that dulls the senses and dissolves the fire within. The chosen ones, those whose path leans toward awakening, are especially targeted. Malevolent forces rarely arrive with noise. They creep in, veiled in apathy and lethargy. They whisper doubts and stretch the hours, numbing inspiration, eroding the strength to maintain spiritual practices. The once clear vision begins to blur, like a star vanishing behind a storm. But there is a secret. The darkness only lingers where light forgets to shine. Spiritual resilience begins with vigilance, noticing when the soul's spark dims. That's when you must return to the altar of your own breath, to the sanctuary of stillness. Light a candle, place your bare feet on the earth, begin again. And what if the first sign of spiritual attack is exactly the test you needed before transformation begins? What if this lethargy is not just fatigue, but the threshold of something greater? Stay close, for next we unveil the veiled symptoms of spiritual apathy, the subtle retreat that precedes great awakenings. Apathy doesn't always shout. Sometimes it tiptoes into your sacred spaces, turning once revered rituals into routine gestures. The chosen ones feel it when silence stops being peace and becomes void. It begins with skipping a meditation, then another. The connection weakens, and the soul no longer trembles at the sound of divine guidance. Spiritual apathy is often the echo of an unhealed wound, a sign that the soul is longing to reconnect, but doesn't know how. This weariness isn't just disinterest, it's a deep spiritual cry. Old habits start knocking again, and the comfort of disconnection seems easier than facing the vast mystery of inner transformation. This is where many give up, but it's also where the brave rise. To rise again, create sacred rituals that reawaken your essence. Whisper a mantra at dawn, place your hand over your heart and listen. Surround yourself with a spiritual community that reflects your light back to you when you forget it. Have you ever felt disconnected for no reason? What if that emptiness is actually a call home? And if you feel your passion fading, what if it's only the prelude to your soul being reignited? Because next, we'll dive into the hidden trials that often appear as lack, especially when your spirit starts to awaken. Have you ever felt lost? Disconnected from who you really are? I created 3 transformative ebooks to help you reconnect with your true essence. Click on the link in the pinned comment and begin your transformation now. When the spirit rises, the earth often trembles beneath your feet. Financial challenges, delays, and sudden losses can emerge just as you begin to elevate. It feels unfair, like the universe is punishing your growth. But what if the scarcity is not a punishment, but preparation? A divine filter to refine your trust in the unseen. The chosen ones are often stripped of comfort so they can remember their true source. The illusion of control is shattered, and you're invited to lean on faith, not as a concept, but as a daily practice. In this sacred vulnerability, a new kind of wealth is born. One built not on numbers, but on resilience and alignment with higher purpose. What can you do when money vanishes and fear creeps in? Light a green candle for abundance. Speak words of gratitude aloud, even when your hands feel empty. Walk barefoot on soil and affirm your trust in universal relationships. In the space where control ends, miracles begin. Have you ever faced a financial storm right before a breakthrough? And what if the lack you feel is just the soil being tilled for your harvest? Next, let's look deeper into the body's language and how physical fatigue might be your soul's quiet scream for attention. Did you enjoy the content and it made a difference for you? Click on Super Thanks and support our work. There's a kind of tiredness that no sleep can heal. The body feels heavy, as if gravity itself has doubled. You rest, but wake up more drained. You try to pray, but your body resists. This is no ordinary fatigue. It's the echo of a spiritual attack, a weight not of this world, pressing upon the temple that is your body. Chosen ones often experience this fatigue when they're nearing a vibrational shift. It's the body processing energetic upgrades, or perhaps fending off malevolent forces that seek to suppress the rising light within. This exhaustion isn't laziness, it's the residue of unseen battles, and yet many blame themselves, unaware they are carrying more than just their own energy. To restore your vitality, turn to sacred movement. Stretch beneath sunlight, drink water charged with intention, or bathe in Epsom salts under a full moon. Your body listens to your rituals. Speak to it with reverence. Have you been exhausted lately without reason? Maybe your body is holding spiritual weight for your next evolution. But what happens when your emotions join this fatigue, swirling into confusion and inner fog? What if that chaos is trying to reveal something profound? Let's explore that next. There are times when emotions rise like sudden storms. One moment you're calm, the next you're drowning in waves of fear, sadness, or a strange unease you can't name. This emotional confusion isn't always yours. Sometimes it's the residue of spiritual interference, a whisper from malevolent forces that twist clarity into chaos. Chosen ones are sensitive to energies, the emotional frequencies of others, and even those from unseen realms. When your spiritual connection grows stronger, it also attracts attention. Not all of it is benevolent. Anxiety, doubt, irrational fear. They may not be signs of weakness, but signals of warfare in the unseen. Recognizing this is the first act of power. Anchor yourself. Burn sage or palo santo. Place a black tourmaline beneath your pillow. Journal the emotions as if decoding a sacred message. What if each wave of confusion is not an obstacle but a compass, pointing toward a hidden truth? Have you felt overwhelmed by emotions that don't feel like your own? And what if this inner chaos is the moment just before revelation? Because next, we explore something even more subtle and insidious, the quiet return of old habits you thought you'd already left behind. Just when you think you've grown, healed, and moved forward, an old urge returns. You catch yourself revisiting behaviors you thought were buried, procrastination, avoidance, toxic thoughts. It feels like backsliding. But what if it's not failure, but a spiritual checkpoint, a final test before your next leap forward? For the chosen ones, spiritual growth is rarely linear. Old habits re-emerge not to destroy progress, but to reveal what still lingers in the shadows. These echoes of the past are the soul's way of saying, are you really done with this version of yourself? The malevolent forces that oppose transformation often hide behind the familiar, because familiarity is comforting, even when it's harmful. Use this moment to observe, not judge. Try a mirror ritual. Look into your own eyes and declare your new identity. Place obsidian near your bed to cut cords with the past. Return to breathwork to realign your nervous system. What's reappearing in your life right now? What are you ready to finally release without fear? And when the old tries to reclaim space in your life, what if that's the moment to reclaim your power even deeper? Next, we uncover how isolation may not be random, but orchestrated to shake the foundations of your spiritual community. Suddenly, you stop answering messages. The spiritual circles that once felt like home now feel distant. You isolate, but not for rest, for retreat. It may seem like you're simply needing space, but often this withdrawal is a signature move in a spiritual attack. One designed to separate the chosen ones from their source of collective strength. Malevolent forces know that unity creates power. A spiritual community amplifies light, offers reflection, and shields energy. But when confusion sets in, when emotional fatigue takes over, it becomes easier to drift into isolation. And in that silence, the mind becomes loud, distorted. You begin to question your worth, your path, even your progress. If this resonates, don't rush back. Reconnect with intention. Start by sending a message of love to someone you trust. Light a violet candle for spiritual communion. Attend a circle, even silently. Your presence matters. Have you felt the pull to disconnect lately? What if your isolation isn't your voice, but interference? And what if, just beyond this loneliness, waits a portal, one that opens through dreams and visions? What happens when even your sleep becomes a battleground? That's what we'll explore next. Sleep, once a sanctuary for rest and spiritual renewal, can become a domain of turmoil. When the soul is in transition or under spiritual attack, the subconscious realm becomes a mirror, reflecting what the waking mind may be unwilling to confront. Chosen ones often experience this shift through disturbing dreams, unsettling symbols, or sensations of being watched during the night. These nocturnal visions are rarely random. They carry codes, energies, sometimes even warnings. Malevolent forces may attempt to infiltrate these vulnerable hours, seeking to destabilize spiritual growth or sever the connection with divine guidance. Nightmares, paralysis, or recurring figures might be a form of energetic disruption, a sign that something unseen is vying for influence over your path. But the sacred doesn't abandon us in the dark. There are ways to protect the spiritual body while sleeping. You can create a dream altar beside your bed. Place protective crystals like black tourmaline or amethyst beneath your pillow and anoint your forehead with lavender or frankincense oil. Whisper a prayer for clarity and shielding before surrendering to the night. With intention and practice, the realm of dreams can once again become a temple, a sacred space for healing, messages, and cosmic communion. Trust in the guidance that comes, even when it arrives veiled in shadows. Now that you've seen the signs, the question is, what are you going to do about them? Will you let the shadows pull you back? Or will you rise with awareness, resilience, and divine guidance? I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt under spiritual attack? Comment below and share your experience. Your story might be the light someone else needs. And if this awakens something in you, subscribe and activate the bell, because your journey is just beginning. We're building a spiritual community where the chosen ones remember who they are. And you belong here. If you've ever felt haunted by someone in your thoughts, it might not be just memory. It could be a spiritual bond calling your attention. In the next video, we'll uncover the hidden meanings behind those persistent thoughts and what they reveal about your soul's deeper connections.